All right. Give me a second. I'm just getting some stuff set up, and then we will be into it. I know we're starting earlier. What a day. Okay, almost through. Yeah, I can put that right there. This, this. Actually, fuel the lighter. Let's do good. Okay. Just, all right, we're live. Welcome back to Sunday Cigars. I'm your host, South Texas Vale. As you can see, still got the merch. Today's lineup for cigars, we have Room 101, Johnny Tobacco Nut, quickly becoming one of my favorites. Room 101, Durama. Duruma? I don't know how to pronounce it. Also, one of my favorites. And then we have Ichiban Maduro by Room 101. This is a daily. I may not smoke this one yet because I want to start with Johnny Tobacco Nut, which is a mild flavored cigar. I forgot to put an ashtray near me. Oops. Let me drag that over. Okay. Oh, that's what sucked. No internet. Power went out. Oh, it's terrible. But we're here now. Oh, and I found a lost video for not last week, but the week prior. It's that tip. Only tip. I need to sharpen my cutter. That looks pretty fucking ragged. And as always, toast before you roast. Toasty, toasty. Don't toast too much, 'cause this is a Connecticut. Where is it a sun grown? I'm not sure. I think it's Connecticut. Which makes it weird, because it's the only Connecticut I fucking like. Now that we're toasted, we're gonna light it. And we're gonna light it the way we always do. By rotating it as we light it. That sure isn't even burn, which is important. Mm-hmm. There we go. We're lit. That out of the way. Excuse me, I'm still fighting cold. Now, like I said, I found the video for episode 5. I found it. It only took a lot of work to find, but I did find it and I did upload it to YouTube. Unfortunately, though, last week I had no internet on Sunday for like almost the entire fucking day. And I would have come to the shop to stream, but I had people over and we were doing some ribs on the grill. And, you know, you know, you just don't leave guests like that. That's kind of a shit thing to do, you know? You don't I'm not kicking people out of my house just to go stream. No offense. Okay. But if I have company that was supposed to be the stream, you get the idea. Anyways, so oh wow, this is clear. Hmm. Oh well. I'm trying a new energy drink. Well, not new. I usually don't drink this brand because I find it obnoxiously sweet. But they didn't have my usual monster dreamsicle, which irritates me. Because as I have professed my love for that flavor many, many times, that is my favorite flavor. But Rain apparently has an orange dreamsicle flavor. And despite having zero sugar in can, it's usually too goddamn sweet, which, is a thing. Mm, It's not bad. I mean, it's not fucking great, but it's not bad. Just it doesn't have the same flavor punch as the Monster does. Plus, it's clear. Like this shit is clear. Monster's orange. This one is clear. And honestly, not that good. It's all right. But we'll we'll sip that. There's a reason I only have one. That's spending money on something I don't like. That's the important thing in life. Don't spend money you don't like on shit. Don't spend money you don't on shit you don't like. You know, don't spend the green if you're not into the scenes. People in the 70s would fucking say about fondue. Which brings up an interesting point. I haven't had fondue like 8 years. No, no, 5 years. I haven't had fondue in 5 years. Why do I bring this up? Because I got a date tomorrow. We're going to go to a fondue restaurant, and we are going to eat fondue. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, we're going to get, fondue. You know, we're going to have fondue because it was her idea. And honestly, it sounds fun. It sounds fun. When you're 40, you take what you can get for fun. Trust me on this. It sounds weird, but as a middle-aged man, trust and believe. Life is not always as exciting as you would like it to be. Now, granted, I'd like to consider myself to have had a fairly interesting life so far. You know, I've done some interesting stuff. I've met a lot of really interesting people. But even I have boring ass fucking days to deal with. You know? I mean, it happens. Everyone has those boring fucking days. They're bound to happen. You know? So apparently, though, someone on Discord on one of the other servers, not my server, my server's all but fucking dead. You know, I mean, let's face it, the Fail Nation is not exactly a booming nation on Discord. Although I still moderate it, and I still have a couple mods on it. Oh well. Anyways, yes. Uh, someone on Discord had brought up someone that I hadn't thought about in years. Like, I have not thought of this cat in years. They're like, well, how do you know you're not like him? It's like, well, because I'm not a alcoholic making wine in my dirty apartment, and I have actual job. I have actually, to be fair, I've got 3 jobs, one full time, 2 part times, and that's not because I'm broke. It's because I like money. I like to have money. I have expensive habits and hobbies that I like to enjoy, and that's part of being an adult. Being able to pay for your own shit. But this other person that they asked, how do I know I'm not like him? It's one, I'm not. I'm not like this guy. I'm not gonna say his name. He's kind of nefarious, notorious. He's a lol cow. There was a weird conversation that led to that topic, and it's like I don't think I'm a lol cow because I don't have that big of a fucking presence on the internet, and people obviously aren't that entertained by. It's just meh. It doesn't matter. But we started talking about this one person, and I haven't thought of this person in years, right? And then they started showing me videos of what they were up to. Apparently, they got a bearded dragon from a neighbor, named it Puff. And now they're making wine in their fucking nasty ass apartment. I mean, I've got friends that make wine at their apartments, but their apartments aren't filthy and they're, you know, hygienic. They're not just reusing. They're actually making wine that won't run the risk of giving you botulism. Unlike this one person, I'm not gonna say their name because fuck it. I don't know why not. I'm sure there's probably a rule against it, but yeah, I just think it's weird. It's like they're still the same person they were the last time I saw their YouTube channel, last time I saw their content. They're the same person. They have not grown. They have not changed. They have not moved forward in life. And that's the thing. Because I've run into friends I've had in high school that are killing it, right? They are a couple of them really fucking killing it. Like, like goddamn, save some success for the rest of us, kind of killing it, you know. And I'm happy for them. I'm very happy for them. And I'm not going to sit here and be all, oh, well, I want to live in the Dominion. I don't. They have an expensive HOA and they're very strict. And I don't want an HOA. Or, I don't want to, I don't want a new car. I like my Jetta. My Jetta, yeah, it's the 2016. It's almost 10 years old. But I still like it. And it's still got a lot of life in it. And it is still fun as fuck to drive. It really is. Plus, I don't want to pay for a new car. I don't want the insurance on a new car. And you lose money when you buy a new car. You drive it off the lot, 15% of its value gone. As soon as you sign. As soon as you drive off the lot, another 20% of its value gone. I plan to drive my Jetta till the wheels fucking fall off. Because I can. But, like I said, excuse me, sorry about that. Like I said, I've got friends in high school, from high school, which was over 20 years ago, who are absolutely fucking killing as adults. And I've got some that are, doing good like I am. And I've got some that aren't doing so good. And then I've got a couple that haven't moved on from high school. Like, one of them wanted me to go with them to a party on a random Tuesday night. It's like, no, no. I'm not going to a party on Tuesday. And here's the messed up part. This is the part that really bothers me about it. Like, I'm 40. He's 42. And he was trying to get me to go with him to a high school fucking party over the summer break. It's like, no, no, I'm not going to a high school party. If I'm going to a high school party, I'm going to pick up one of my godkids and break up a party. I'm not going to go drink with fucking high schoolers. That's weird. That's disturbing. It's creepy. Honestly, it was creepy when his dad would come to our high school parties. And our parties, in high school. And show up and get fucking absolutely shit faced. It was creepy when his dad do it. Now I see that he does it. It's like, all right, well, the fruit did not fall far from that tree. But he's sitting there trying to goat me into going to this fucking party. And it's like, dude, it's Tuesday. I got work in the morning. I got shit to do. I have responsibilities. And he looks at me. He's like, "You've changed. You've changed, Texas. You're not the same. You're not the same person you were in high school. You've become boring." It's like, well, yeah, but I'm also 40. I'm not fucking 17. I'm not 18. I'm not 16. I'm 40. I'm an adult. And more than just an adult, I'm a middle aged man. I have no business going to a high school fucking party. I have no business going to that. That's weird. That creeps me out that he does that. I mean, what about you, Chad? I think that's fucking creepy. I think that's weird. I think that's wrong on multiple fucking levels for a grown ass 42-year-old man to be going to a high school party with high schoolers. Now, I mean, from the legal standpoint of, oh, if I went to a high school party and got raided by the cops in Texas, the oldest person there is the one that usually gets the ticket for all the alcohol and all the drunken minors and debauchery. odds are it's at some kid's house, some kid's parents' house. They're out of town. And if I show up, I'm gonna definitely be the oldest one there. I'm 40. I'm not running from the fucking cops. I got bad fucking knees. I ain't dealing with this shit. More importantly, I'm not going to a fucking high school party. But my buddy, I'm not gonna say his name, was lecturing me about how I changed, how I'm boring. It's like, no, I've just grown as a person. I understand that I have responsibilities now. I have a roof to keep over my head. I have food to put in my face. I like to put food in my face. But I also have a car that I need to put gas in and keep insurance in so I can get to and from my job, to and from treatment, to and from the grocery store, so that I can buy food to put in my face. I'm not going to risk that by going to a fucking high school party. That's just wrong. It's weird. It's like that weird 22-year-old college kid that's dating the 14-year-old. Like, oh, you're so mature for you. No, 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 no. If he can't date anyone his age, there's something wrong with him. There's something very wrong with my buddy that was trying to get me to go to this high school party. It's like, no. It's like, I'm not doing it. That's just not what I'm gonna do. That's just dumb. And it's like, dude, I'm not the same person I was in high school. I'm sure as hell not the same person I was in high school. Like I said, part of life is growing as you age. You know, as you get older, you'll have more responsibilities that you have to take care of because your parents aren't always going to be there to take care of you. You can't rely on everyone else to take care of you. You can't, you know, because you just can't. That's your parents aren't going to be around forever. Your parents aren't going to work forever. They're going to want to retire. They're going to want to enjoy their golden years in the sunset. And if they're having to take care of you, you're just being selfish and spoiled and honestly being a bad kid. I mean, let's be honest. That's the natural progression. You're born, and your parents or guardians, depending on your situation, take care of you. You grow up, go through school, you learn about the world, you learn about yourself and how to act in society, how to interact with other people. And then you go to trade school, military, college, or you just go right into the workforce. And from there, you spend your 20s growing up, maturing. You spend your 30s doing adult things and developing as a person to where you develop hobbies and habits that you enjoy that are usually beneficial, you know? Now, I know that not everyone's going to do that. Some people, some people have it hard. I don't exactly have it easy, but I don't have it like fucking so hard that I can't do anything for myself. I mean, shit, I'm disabled, but you don't see me fucking constantly fucking parking in handicapped parking. You know, you don't see me using the mobility carts at the store because I can still walk. I'm disabled because I'm in kidney failure. And yeah, sure, after treatment, I just don't feel human. I feel terrible and I want to go home and sleep because that's like running a 4-hour marathon. Somebody beats the holy shit out of you. I gotta do that 3 times a week, you know? So yeah, I'm disabled, but I don't let that hold me back. There's plenty of people that don't let being disabled hold them back. And yet there's this one guy that, no, actually, there's 3 people I'm thinking of now. One lives in Ohio, one lives in Wyoming, and the other one lives in Ruckersville. And they all let their disabilities hold them back to an extent. Like, JFS could get a job. Jeez, I did not mean to say that. The dude in question that's making his own wine, he could get a job. He's had a job. He could get a job. He's capable of working. you know? But he doesn't. He makes wine and poor life choices and streams, and terrible food and drink combinations that just make me go, why? What the hell is wrong with you? My God. Like, don't get me wrong. I like a mixed drink every so often. I love an old fashioned, but I'm not going to sit there and pour fucking shit whiskey into a can of Monster. Be, oh, it's a drink combo. No, it's not. It's garbage. It's garbage. You're putting it in your body. Of course, I can't talk too much shit. I'm drinking an energy drink and I'm putting that shit in my body. But the point being is I'm not making these weird fucking food combinations in a filthy kitchen. I like to keep my kitchen fucking immaculate. That's the other thing I learned in my 20s. And this is a very important life lesson for all of you out there. I learned in my 20s that if I live like a slob, girls aren't going to want to be around me. I know, shocking, stunning. It's hard to attract a partner in life, be it straight, trans, LGBT, any partner in life. It's hard to attract someone if you live like a fucking slob. If you stink, they're not going to want to be around you. If you're crass and don't know how to behave in public and embarrass them, they're not going to want to be around you in public. They're not. But more importantly, if and this is something I learned very young in life, keep your shit, keep your shit clean. Keep your room clean. Keep your bathroom clean. Keep your house clean. People are more likely to want to come and hang out with you at your house if it's clean. I clean my bathroom every Sunday. Every Sunday. I clean the walls, I clean the mirrors. Well, the walls and baseboards, something that comes from my mom being a nurse. That's just something she had us do. But I clean the floor, I clean the toilet, inside, outside, replace the little thing in the tank, turns the water blue, clean the sink, clean the cabinets, clean the light switch, clean the mirror, clean the shower, walls, and tub basin. I even clean the little window in the shower. I clean it all every Sunday. Why? Because I like my bathroom clean. When I'm, cooking food in the kitchen, I clean as I cook. And I'll do a big meal prep on Mondays for the rest of the week. So I'll have food from Monday till Saturday, right? That I can just throw in the microwave, eat, and go. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to deal with it. And I don't have to make decisions about, oh, what am I going to eat? Oh, I'm not hungry for this. No, fuck it. Meal prep it. I'll have 5 portions of food that I can eat throughout, 5 meals a week. And I only eat once, twice a day. I don't eat a lot of food anymore because, kidney failure kills your sense of taste. Everything kind of tastes muted. Like the flavors, like the volume of the flavors turned down, if that makes any sense. But while I'm cooking, I'm cleaning. I am cleaning the pan I just used while while I'm waiting for the next step to finish. If I have to saute something and put it to the side on a plate, then when I put it on that plate, you know, or if, like if I'm doing like my breakfast burritos, right? Where, I'm doing protein, veggies, and then eggs, I will, you know, I'll have a big mixing bowl where I'll put the eggs in and I'll beat them, but while I'm cooking the sausage or the bacon or the chorizo and the peppers and onions, because I like peppers and onions and maybe some spinach sometimes if I'm feeling festive. Once that's done, and I have that bowl of eggs, and then I mix the eggs in the pan, well, the pan's on low heat, so those eggs are going to take a while. I'll wash the bowl. I'll wash the whisk. I'll wash everything I used up to that point, except for the pan that I'm still using. And then when I'm done with the pan and I put it, on the tray so I can portion it out, 3 tablespoons per fucking tortilla, And it's kind of funny because it's not like I'm making big burritos. I'm making what I call two finger burritos. Or when I was in high school, my dealer would call it two finger dime. The burritos are only about that big around. They're only about that big around. They're small. They're like a little taco. Throw it in the microwave for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and it's ready to go. But while I'm waiting for that to cool down enough in the sheet pans where I can portion it, I've already put the pan in the sink, soaking it with soap and hot water, so that when I'm done rolling my little tacos, putting them in bags or on a baking sheet to put in the freezer, to freeze them before I bag them, that pan will be ready for me to scrub. You know, and that's the thing. If you cook clean as you cook, makes it a lot easier. If I make my fucking Moroccan beef, which is something apparently people love. Like apparently I got a winner of a recipe on this Moroccan beef, which I just do in a crock pot. I do all the prep work, cut up the veggies that are gonna go in it and the other stuff, throw them on the bottom, cut up the pot roast, because I'm gonna pull it out and shred it, but I want to make sure it's really, really well seasoned. So I don't even I don't even sear it. Like this is truly a one pot deal. I don't even sear it to brown it. No, I throw it in a mixing bowl. I dump all the spices that need to go into it. And there's a lot that goes into Moroccan beef for the spice mix, and I make sure that beef is fucking coated in that season. That's very important. And then I put it in the crock pot and I add the rest of the liquid, the liquid elements that you need to actually cook it. And I leave it alone for 5, 6 hours, just on high for 6 hours. Boom. By the time I'm done working, it's ready for me to do what else I have to do, you know. And then I pull the beef out, shred it, and all that. Yeah, I'll do it on stream one day. I will show you. Well, maybe not stream because I'm not going to do a 7 hour stream to show you how I do Moroccan beef. But maybe I'll make a video of it and put it on YouTube. But the point being is that even though it all goes in the crock pot, before I'm even, walking back to my room to work or doing whatever else it is I have to do, I've already cleaned everything I've used. But this one dude that's making wine in his nasty apartment and makes giant fucking nasty ass burritos. I don't think he's ever cleaned his kitchen. Hell, I saw a video where he dumps sugar on the counter on accident and he just wipes it off. Like, I don't know if he wiped it into something, threw it away, or if he just wiped it onto the fucking floor. It's fucking gross. Don't live like that. Do not live like that. And of course, someone else reminded me of this other guy that lives in Akron, up in Ohio, who, well, they think they're some sort of musician, but they're, I'm not gonna dunk on them. They're who they are. They do what they do. That's fine. We're all kind of weird in our own way. Like I sit here and talk to myself for an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes every Sunday. Who knows? But yeah, real life, growing up, changing as you get older. And then after stream, I'm gonna go play with my puppy because I have access to a cute, adorable little Cavalier Spaniel whom I love more than anything. They're such a cute little shit. Little finger biter. Little guy's a little land piranha. I'm scratching and start trying to bite my fingers. And not even like hard. It's not like he's chomping down. Like he's nibble. And it's like, I should have named you Nibbler instead of Charlemagne, the papal emperor of Europe. But I get to act, yeah, I get to play the puppet. I love that fucking dog. He's such a good little guy. He's such a good. Like, I'll go on the patio and sit outside because I like to sit outside. He'll run around the patio, get the zoomies, or he'll try to play fight me. It was funny when he was still learning how to run. when puppies run weird until they figure out how to move all their legs, and it's a piece of manner, and it's just funny. Sorry, I'm sending a message to somebody that honestly I wish could have waited, but can't. Unfortunately, so excuse me if I'm a little distracted. Okay. One of my friends was in an accident last night. Oh, people are relaying information about it. She got hurt real bad, you know, and so we're dealing with that. Apparently, she even had to have emergency surgery last night. Hopefully, she'll be okay. Hopefully, I'm really hoping she's gonna be all right. She's a real cool person. She's also a really nice person. So you hate, that's the thing. You hate when it happens to people that she never hurt anyone. She's a good person. She's nice. Yet she got hurt in a wreck or some sort of accident. I don't know if it was a wreck or what, but I'm pretty sure it was a car wreck. Yeah, and I see drunks driving all the time. Hell, my weekend job, which really isn't that big of a surprise, is I drive for Uber on Fridays and Saturday nights. You know, because I like money and it's good, easy money. It's clean money. But I see so many drunk drivers, and it's like, why can't they be the ones to hit each other instead of hitting people who aren't drunk? You know, like I have a special disdain for drunk drivers. Like I have a serious hatred for drunk drivers. I don't like them. You know, I don't. And I have reasons, but that's on the YouTube channel if you want to see it. It's how I died the second time, which is really weird that I can sit here and say I've died twice. Ah, like, I'm not even joking. I've been dead twice. It's weird. Excuse me. Allergies and a cold are not a good combination. Probably shouldn't be smoking, but actually, I don't think anyone should be smoking. It's not good for you to smoke. But I digress. God damn. More information. Oh, cool. She's out of surgery and she's doing better. The ICU is a progressive care unit. It should be there for 3 to 4 more days. Keep posted. She seems to be feeling better and is in good spirits. All right. I don't want to know what room she's in over at the hospital so I can send her flowers. And now they're talking football. Joy. Football. Not football guy. I don't like football. I played it in middle school and I hated it. Like it was boring as fuck. I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. I didn't like it because it's boring to me. You set up, you play, you stop, then you reset and play again. No. Hockey has always held my attention. And I played quite a few games, pickup hockey here and there, both street, roller, and ice. And I love hockey. There is no stopping. You keep going, you know? And I like that because I probably have ADD to some degree. Actually, I definitely probably have ADD to some degree. But point being, this football to me was kind of boring because it start stop, reset, start, stop. And it's like, no, I'm good. I don't want to do that. That to me is boring. It gets it gets monotonous. And I don't like monotonous things. I don't like tedium, you know, which is kind of funny because we live in a world, and this is funny. I hate being bored. I find boredom to be vulgar. I do. I find boredom to be vulgar. We live in a world where there is always something going on. There's always something for you to do, and there's always something to learn or practice. There is no excuse to be bored. You can read a book, you can ride a bike, you can talk to people on the internet like I do, talk to myself for an hour and a half like I do. You know, there is always something to do. Learn a language. If you're bored every day, why not learn a language? Like, hear me out. Practice a language for like 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day. You know, just 20 minutes a day. You may not be fluent by the end of the year, but after 365 days of doing it for 15, 20 minutes a day, you'll at least be able to hold a comprehensive conversation in some foreign fucking language. You know? And it's not like it's somebody that, yeah, I know at some point one of my friends will be like, practice what you preach, Chase. Oh, I'm sorry. Parlez-vous français? Oui, oui, attends. Yeah, I speak a little French. I took French in high school. I took it for 3 fucking years. I don't remember very much of it, but I know enough to hold a decent little conversation. You know, je m'appelle Jace. My name is Jace. Mi llamo Jace. My name is Jace in Spanish. Oh, I speak Spanish, I speak French, I speak English, I speak a little Russian, and I speak another language that I'm not going to worry about right now because nobody fucking knows it, and it's virtually a dying language, unfortunately, a dying language. But that's because I practiced languages. So, you know, I lived in El Paso for a long time, and in El Paso, being right on the border, you're exposed to Spanish. Well, why not take an opportunity and learn from that exposure? I'm not fucking 100% fluent native in Spanish. I speak border Spanish, which is a weird mishmash of Castilian Spanish and Chicano Spanish and English, weirdly enough. You know, but I know enough to get around. I know enough to hold conversations. I know enough to ask and answer. That's the important thing. I know enough to where if I ask you, I know how to ask a question. Like, ¿Dónde lo biblioteca? Where's the library? I know enough to receive the answer, and I know enough to give an answer. You know, like that's the thing. You don't have to be like 100% fluent. You don't have to be fucking native level at speaking. But as long as you can hold a conversation, even if you have to stammer at points like you know, that's fine. That's fine. As long as you're able to hold a conversation, that's good. You know, and a lot of people dedicate a lot of time that they could be using to learn a language on watching mindless amounts of TV. Now, don't get me wrong, I like to binge watch shows. Hell, I have binged several shows I didn't mean to binge, like Squid Games. I only meant to watch 2 episodes of Squid Games. I thought I would be able to place it out for a week or two and then I'd be caught up. No, I binged it all in one night. Watched the entire fucking the whole thing in one fucking night because it was a real good show and I liked it. But I've got friends that from the moment they get home from work, they sit down, they turn on the TV, and they zone out. And then around, 7, 8, they eat dinner. When they're done with dinner, they watch TV again. And there's nothing wrong with watching TV, but watching for 3 or 4 hours a day seems real fucking excessive. It does. Now, I'm not saying I don't watch TV. I watch the local news. I like to know what's going on in my city or in my part of the world. So I like to watch the world news because I'd like to know what's going on in the rest of the world. But I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I'm loyal to one news source. No, because if I see something and I get interested, I'm going to read a bunch of different sources and see what they say. Well, and then from all those various sources, I'll disseminate the truth, which more people need to do. They really do. But again, I watch the morning news because I like to know what happened over the night while I was asleep or doing other stuff. I like what's going on in the city. I like watching the traffic reports so I know which roads to fucking avoid. And there's a lot of construction here in San Antonio. Oh boy, there's a lot of construction in San Antonio. But I also like to know the weather. So I know, do I need a jacket? Do I need an umbrella? Do I need a sweater? Should I be wearing, you know, a long sleeve shirt? Should I grab my hoodie? Stuff like that. I like to be prepared for the weather so I know what the fuck is going on. Now I know Texas weather is bipolar by nature, and if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. But I'd like to at least know, what I'm looking forward to for weather. And then I like to watch, see what happens. When I get home, I want to know what the fuck's going on in the city. What happened during the day? Did our mayor do something? Did city council come up with some solution? Was there a big accident, fire, anything? Because I just want to know. But other than that, I don't really sit down and watch TV shows that often. Like, I'll stream TV shows, like most Americans. I have streaming services at my disposal that I will use. Mainly because my buddy Matt has Hulu and Paramount and all that shit in the house, and I can watch it in any TV in the house if I want. Except in my room, I haven't put it on my TV because I don't care. But I have access through Netflix, through a friend. Don't know for how long that's going to work, but and then Amazon Prime. So I have access to movies, TV, and shit like that. But I really just don't like sitting down and watching a lot of TV. It's like video games. I love to play video games. I really, really do. Trust and believe me. I love video games. From the first time my parents let me play fucking no, it wasn't Pac-Man. It was Pac-Man. It was on the Atari. To playing that god awful fucking ET game on the Atari. To fucking Wolf Hunter on the Atari. I loved video games. I loved them on the Atari. I loved them on the Nintendo. I loved them all the way up, even on my PC. I still love playing video games on my PC. You know, I I do enjoy video games, but I'm not going to sit there and play a video game for 3 hours. I can't do that personally. I just can't. It's hard for me to spend that much time on a game. I get listless. I get antsy. I get fidgety. You know. So inevitably, after 2, 3 hours, I'll stop playing whatever game. Normally, I don't even play for more than an hour. Like I might play for an hour, I might play for two. But if I'm playing and I'm not streaming's a little different. But if I'm just casually playing it on my own, I don't play for more than an hour or two. I can't, and I don't even play every day. But what I will dedicate, 2, 3 hours to a day is reading. I love to read. I love reading. Reading is one of the things that everyone should do. And you can generally tell when someone reads versus when they don't, someone that doesn't read. And I don't mean like, oh, they just read sports magazines and crap like that. No, I mean like someone who will sit down and read a book, like an actual book. As an adult, you can tell. And it really comes across with their vocabulary, their diction, their enunciation. You can just kind of tell when somebody reads a lot. Because when somebody reads a lot, it shows. Now, I know people that read a lot of, you know, James Patterson books, and I don't care for his stuff, but they still read. And I know a lot of people that read everything that Tom Clancy has ever put out. Again, not my bag, not my cup of tea, but they're still reading. And then I got a friend that doesn't read, like, at all. Like, they don't read at all. They don't read books. They don't read magazines. They won't even read a fucking newspaper. They won't even read articles online. I mean, they won't. They just won't read them. They don't care. They won't read them, and that's, how they are. And it kind of feels when it comes to talking to them about stuff, they're very limited in the scope of what they will acknowledge because they won't read. They it's hard to explain. It really, really is. If somebody doesn't read, it's really hard to explain, but you can kind of tell when talking to a person whether or not they read a lot or they don't read a lot. And that maybe it's just me, but that's just kind of the impression I get from some people. You know, you can tell when somebody reads a lot. That's fine. I love to read. I read a lot. I read maybe three, four books a week. You know, back when I was only working two jobs, I'd read seven books a week at most, at least four. And I don't mean little books. I mean I'm reading books with fairly long chapters and a lot of because I just like to read. Hell, when I was a little kid, my parents would encourage me to read. They would encourage me to read. I mean, I remember when I was a kid in elementary school, I saw, and this is really gonna show you how old I am, even though I've told you how old I am multiple times in multiple different streams. This animated show called Beetlejuice. They had an episode where they did a kind of an homage to Moby Dick, and I remember telling my dad, hey, I want to go to the library. I want to check out a book, and he's like, okay, what do you want to check out? You know, being inquisitive as to what his son wants to read. I'm like, I want to read Moby Dick. I want to read Moby Dick, Dad. He's like, the whale? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And he actually had a copy of the book that his dad gave. And I still have that book, and I've read it multiple fucking times. I love that book. But again, my parents encouraged me to read. They always encouraged me to read. Like, I taught myself to read in preschool because I didn't like how the teacher at preschool read the fucking book. She read it real slow and deliberate, and I just, again, probably because I have ADD, but yeah, I probably do have ADD, read real slow, and I wanted to get through it because I didn't like slow-paced reading. And in elementary school, I remember in reading class in elementary school, um, I kept getting in trouble because the teacher would have us all read a paragraph to the class. We'd sit in a little circle and we take turns reading. And I used to get in so much trouble because it would get to my turn and I would have no idea where they are in the book because I'm like 8 chapters ahead of her. Like I'm well far ahead of everyone else in the fucking book. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, but y'all read too slow. And I remember one time the teacher's like, Jace, you have to wait. You have to wait, Texas. You have to wait for the other kids. You cannot read ahead. That's not fair to them. And I remember I got in trouble and I got like 2 days after school detention and 2 days lunch detention for going, why? Why do I have to wait for them? You should make them catch up to me. Don't hold me back because they can't read. And then I got in trouble. I got detention. And of course, when I got home, I had to give my mom the letter. Your son, South Texas fail, has after school detention for 2 days and 2 days of lunch detention. And my mom, of course, it's like, what'd you do? What did you do? And I told her, it's like I got upset with the teacher because she kept telling me to wait for the other kids, and I didn't want to wait for the other kids. They read slow, and I didn't want to wait. I wanted to just read the book. I wanted to read the story. I don't even remember what we were reading. Like, this is like in second grade. No, it's first grade. First grade. Yeah, first grade. And we're reading, I think, Mr. Popper's Penguins. And I wanted to know what happened with those penguins. I wanted to know what happened with those penguins in that book. And I kept reading ahead of the class, and I got in trouble for it. But again, my parents encouraged me to read because instead of, getting grounded on top of having detention, which, was common in my household, if I got detention in elementary school, I got grounded. Uh, uh, my mom said, "All right, you're not grounded. I'm not going to punish you for this, but Jace, from now on, don't outread the kids." And then it kept happening. It happened like 4 times where I got detention for outreading the other children, to where eventually my parents went down to the school and they're like, "Hey, you know, it's not fair that Jace is being punished for accelerating at reading. Why don't we not do that? If he reads ahead of the other children, then why should he be punished?" And I remember the principal going, "Well, how do we know he's actually reading and not just thumbing through the book?" And I'll never forget it, but my first grade teacher said, "Well, because I know he's reading it because I watch his eyes. He's actively reading. He's actively reading what's on the page. And I could see it in his face that he's in the book." And, this is going to sound stupid, and I'm sure a lot of people have this. When you read something, your imagination takes over, right? It's like you're reading, your eyes are open, you're actively on the page, but it's more like I'm not reading, more like I'm watching a movie where I can cast myself as the main character, or I can cast anyone for any role in that book. And it's like a daydream, but while reading. Like I'm actively retaining what I'm reading, you know. And I still get that when I read. I love that. That's what I love about reading. It's like watching a little movie, you know, where I'm the director. And I'm sure a lot of people have that. I've never really talked about it with anyone, so I don't know, but I'm assuming other people are like that. I assume a lot of people are like that when they read. Yeah, I'm not buying that one again. I'm not buying that fucking soda. I'm not buying this ever again. Like, this is just not good. This does not taste good. Like, it tastes okay, but meh. Oh, but no, like I was, that's part of why I love to read, because it's always been like that for me ever since I first started learning to read. Even to this day, I still love reading, and I read a lot. I'm kind of well known at half price books. Like I've got a bit of a reputation at the half price books by my house, because I'll go in, I'll buy, 3 or 4 books, and then the next week I'm turning those books in, buying 3 or 4 different books, and it's a vicious cycle. Now I keep books that I really enjoy because I'll read them over and over again, like Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson. I have read that book so many times. I've had to buy that book twice because I read the first copy I bought so many times that it fell apart. And I'm probably going to have to buy another copy here in a couple months because the copy I have now is starting to fall apart. Uh, Diamond Age by Neil Stephenson. Same thing. I've had to buy that book 3 times. 3 times because I wore that book out, you know? Like Moby Dick, I have four different editions of it because I don't want to ruin the one my dad gave me by reading it into the till the pages are falling out. My first edition copy of Doom, I've had to buy second, third editions, multiple copies because I don't want to read that book till the pages fall. You know, it's just how I am. I love to read. Reading is one of those things I truly, truly enjoy. You know, and I don't just read sci-fi or high fantasy. No, I'll read fucking action, adventure, historic, history, fiction, nonfiction, science fiction. I will read it all. You know, I will read almost anything you put in front of me because I enjoy it. Hell, I love detective novels. And I don't mean like Sherlock Holmes. Don't get me wrong, I like Sherlock Holmes. But I mean like Nero Wolfe. Uh, Nero Wolfe. I love that. I love that book series so fucking much. You know, I really, really do. Hercules Poirot. I love that book series. I have read every one of the Nero Wolfe stories I could find. I have read every single one of the Hercules Poirot series that I could find because I love that pulp detective, turn of the century, World War II, build up between World War One and World War II. I love this. I love that era for detective pulps. Hell, I've written some detective noirs. I wish I knew what happened to them. I know they're on the internet somewhere. I know one of them got an honorable mention at some stupid little contest. One of the other ones I wrote won, like won like third place at a fucking online contest that was during, Noir November 15 plus years ago. And I got like a fucking gift card, I think, to Barnes and Nobles, which I burned through like that buying books. Go figure. But I don't remember I don't even remember the pseudonym I wrote those under. I'm sure they're on a Google Drive somewhere. I just gotta find them. But even to this day, I still write little noirs and pulp fictions and stuff like that. But I just write them slowly, and of course, none of them are done. It's a slow process. Busy man, three jobs, books to read. You know, life continues. Maybe one day I'll publish them, maybe not. Hell, I'm even writing. It's a fucked up memoir of my life. And it's not like a ego memoir. It's just like a collection of fucked up things that I've done or I've seen or that people have told me about. It's a collection of letters, essentially, that I've been writing for like the last 20 fucking years. You know, I don't know if I'll ever publish it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But that's the thing. As long as you don't just watch TV, back to the original point, as long as you're not just watching TV all day and you're actively doing something, that's good. You know, like I said, like my original point before I went on that like 30-minute fucking tangent is that there's no excuse to be bored in this world. We live in a world where you have the whole of human knowledge and history at your fingertips, in your pocket, on your phone, at home on your computer, in your laptop. Anywhere you have access to the internet, you have access to the entirety of human knowledge, right? You have access to everything you could ever want to learn. So use it. Don't just half-ass it and watch TV when you get home from work. Yeah, it's nice to unwind, but mindlessly watching TV is just kind of vulgar to me. Like boredom. Like boredom, I find that vulgar. If you're gonna, sit around and do nothing, then what's the point? You know, learn a skill, learn a hobby, learn a language, take up an instrument. Yeah, you're going to be terrible on an instrument the first fucking time you pick it up, but the thousandth time you pick it up, if you've been practicing, you're going to be good. Maybe. Maybe. I know there's a ton of elementary kids out there, kids in elementary school who pick up that recorder and their parents pray for the day they put it down. But again, pick it up, practice, go with it, stick with it. 15, 20 minutes a day for a whole year, every day for a whole fucking year. You'll be better than when you start if you stay with it. And thinking about, and speaking of sticking with things, I'm getting back into leatherworking, something I did like 15 years ago. It's been a while since I've put tool to leather, and I've made a couple of things. And honestly, your boy is very rusty at. I am very, very rusty with that leather work, but I'm still trying. I'm trying to get back to where I was, and I have plans to start making little wallets and keychains, stuff that I can sell or give away to people, as gifts. Once I have a good workspace cleared out and set up in the garage, maybe I'll stream that. I can watch me work on leather for a couple hours a day, you know, and shoot the shit, and we just talk because it's something to do. It's something we can do together, you know. Huh. New scar, I don't remember that. Sorry, no scar on my arm. It's not like this cut scar I have here that runs. It's real hard to see. I got one on each side of my face. I'll tell the story how that happened later. Especially when I frown or scowl, you can see it runs like that. And on this side, it doesn't go as far; it just stops there. Uh no, I'm not gonna get to that. That is a story for another day. I just keep noticing it every time. I don't know. Hold on. I'll tell you. Yeah, you can see it right there. That ring light. That ring light really brings out that fucking scar. Damn. Huh. Yeah, well, I have a lot of scars. I have a lot of scars. And I don't hide them, you know. Scars are part of life. They tell a story. Surgeries, injuries, accidents. You know, I don't hide my scars. I wear them. I wear them with a bit of pride. You know, like Slug in the song "God Loves Ugly" by Atmosphere. There's a line that that I really like, and I modeled my life off this line. I wear my scars like the rings on a pimp. I'm like a stepping razor. I suggest you stay fair with me. You know. That's kind of how I live my life. I don't hide my scars. My scars are my scars. You're going to see them on my arms, fingers, my face, chest, back, abdomen, my knees, my legs. You're going to see the scars. I'm not hiding. You know, I'm not. I'm not ashamed of. Like I know way too many people that are upset by their scars. Like, oh, it's gonna leave a scar. It's gonna leave. Okay, fine. Deal with it. You know, deal with it. You know, they're part of you. They're part of your story. Your scars are part of your story. They tell a story. And that's the important thing. Oh, there. Ooh, no, that really brought it out. God damn, look at that thing. Huh. Hmm. That's a that is a scar. Never noticed how pronounced it is. Oh well. Misadventurous youth. Let's leave it at that. It really is just a scar from a dumb event. It happened when I was a kid. I mean, hell, speaking of dumb things that happened as a kid, there's a reason I'm missing a chunk of my left ear. And I will tell you in a minute. Well, I'll tell you after we get back from a break. We're not taking a break yet, but we're gonna take a break here in about 15 minutes. And then when we come back from that, I will tell you the story of why I'm missing a chunk of my left ear. It's an interesting story. It's it's kind of like one of those stories. It's like, dang, like people that hear it, they're like, dang. But yeah, like again though, I know people that they're so obsessed with hiding their scars. Like I've got a friend, he has a scar that runs right here, and he still has a full head of hair, so you don't see the bulk of it. And it was from where he had surgery because he was in a car accident. They had to put a metal, they had to stitch his head up or something. I don't remember the whole story. It was an accident, there was surgery, and that's the scar that was left. Like maybe this much of the scar sticks out from under his hairline, but he will use concealer on that scar to hide it. And it's not like he has a job where, that can affect his ability to earn money. No, he's a bartender. He owns a bar. I love, he's one of my best friends. He's doing great. He owns a fucking bar, but he's so concerned about that scar that he hides it. And not just at work. Like, he hides that scar all the time. Every day he puts makeup on to hide it, which I think is, well, I think it's kind of weird, but I also think it's kind of a shame because, again, that scar tells a story and he's trying to hide it, you know? I mean, but it is what it is. Let me put the top back on, see that. It doesn't really help. Oh well. At least you don't have to worry about being blind by my shiny ass bald spot. God. Oh, I'm sorry, but no, that makes that bald spot shiny. I got waxes. Oh man, it's funny. I used to tease my dad when he was going bald when I was a kid. Please, I'll polish your forehead for a nickel, sir. Polish the bald spot for a quarter. I'll use the turtle wax. And now I'm balding. I also need to get a haircut. Hair's getting a little long. It's fuzzy. Take it back down to a 1 or a 0 because I don't hide my bald spot. And I know plenty of people. I actually know someone with a toupee. I know someone with a toupee. Granted, they're 68, and their toupee does not match their hair at all in any way, shape, or form. That toupee does not match at all. And it's sad. It's the back of their head is bald down to here. The toupee only covers the crown. So they have like a bald stripe about that under the toupee, and it's the wrong shade of brown. I mean, it's like they dye their hair too. They dye all the white out of their hair. And it's a different shade of brown than their toupee, and it's funny. But yeah, I know people that they take medication to grow their hair back because they're vain. It's like don't do that. I've had a couple of friends get hair implants, and it looked so fucking horrible and disgusting. Like that first month that I wanted nothing to ever do with that. Never will I get hair implants because that shit, it is horrifying when it's healing. It is disgusting. Like, look it up. I'm not even gonna show you pictures of it. It's that fucking gross. Like, good God, it's fucking horrifying. You know, I want to test something. We're gonna test a widget. Test. Ooh, let's test a donation. Hey, hey, okay, cool, cool. Let's see what happens when that dies off, and we'll see what a subscription will do. I just want to make sure these work. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, that works. Get the smoochies from the kiss, kissies from the kitty. All right, follow. Yep, right in the fail train. Cool, cool. All right. Yeah, that works. Covers me up. You don't get to see me. Let's see what bits do. Yep. Okay, that works. And we'll test post. We'll see what post does. Mind you, these are all just me testing because I want to see if these work. Okay, sharing my failures. Okay, cool. So that works. Awesome. Though I might want to change that last one's GIF. I'll have to find a good GIF for that. But now I know the widgets, which makes me happy. That makes me happy. Excuse me. Yeah. God damn, that tastes like that nasty drink. Mhm. Oh man, this week is actually looking up to be a pretty busy week for me. Like, I've got a bunch of stuff I have to take care of. I've got to go talk to my tax guy slash business advisor because I'm thinking about starting a new LLC for my leather work and keep it separate from my other LLC because that'll make taxes. Well, on the one hand, it'll make it a little more complicated because I'll have to file two different, taxes for two different, LLCs. But financially, it would keep the two businesses separate, which would make it easier than if I had like a DBA off my current LLC. And I'm not closing the other LLC. I'm not dissolving it. I'm still using it. I still actively work with that and make money with that little LLC. It's just that LLC doesn't really fit the context of what I'm going to be doing with the other LLC for leatherwork. It just doesn't. And I mean, if I did a DBA, DBA or doing business as, I could have a pseudo name for it. But at the same time, it's just probably gonna be simpler to do it as a separate LLC. I mean, it is what it is. But for now, I'm just gonna focus. And it has to do with leatherwork because I still have to come up with a name for that. I've got a couple that I'm thinking of using, but I haven't landed on a name that I really like. You know, I've got a couple really good contenders for a good name for the new company, but nothing I'm going to stick with yet. So there is that. But for now, I'm just going to focus on acquiring more material and more tools for the leatherwork before I even go down the LLC route. I just got to talk to my business advisor about it because I'm not 100% sure that anything I buy before I establish the LLC that I buy out of my own pocket can be used as a tax deduction on the new LLC before I establish it. So I got to talk to them about that, but I got to do that tomorrow. Tuesday I have treatment. Tuesday afternoon I have a doctor's appointment. That's going to be fun. I got to see my orthopedic surgeon on Wednesday about my right knee because we need to figure out if my right knee is on bone for that joint or if it's a torn and separated meniscus because it's gotten to the point where the cortisol injections aren't fucking helping. And I refuse to take painkillers. Like, I refuse to take painkillers. I don't like the way they make me feel. I don't like them, so I'm not going to, I don't want to take that route. And I feel if we just do a knee replacement, it'll take care of it. I mean, I'm middle aged, so it's not unusual. You hit middle age and your body starts falling apart on you. Thankfully, we don't live in the age of leeches and bloodletting, to where, although there are still leeches used for medical reasons, like if you get your finger cut off, they'll put leeches on it, because that really does help. And phlebotomy is still a thing for people with polycythemia, because they, produce too many red blood cells. You got to bleed them out. But aside from those examples, there's not really that many reasons for leeches or bloodletting in modern medicine. And I'm glad we have modern medicine, because it does make things a lot nicer and live a lot longer. Trust me on that. Like 100 years ago, kidney failure was a death sentence. Now, you can live a long fucking time on dialysis. It sucks. It's not comfortable. Trust me, it is not comfortable. Dialysis sucks. Two big 14 gauge needles. That's what these are. These these are where they put the needles in for dialysis. And they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's a guy at my dialysis center that he's got his fistula, like what I have, on his arm. But his fistulas have grown so big, they're about the size of a fucking garden hose. And they are massive. And you gotta sit there for 4 hours with two big ass needles in your arm. And you gotta try to keep your arm still. And it's just torture. I hate it. 4 hours. 4 hours of nothing to do. That's the worst part. Like, that is the worst part of dialysis, is sitting there for 4 fucking hours. 4 hours. I try to sleep so it goes by faster, which, I don't sleep the night before treatment. It really helps me with sleeping at treatment. But 4 hours. I mean, yeah, I go to a good clinic. It's a national chain of clinics, and they're really, really good. Don't get me wrong. The quality of healthcare there is amazing. And, I have a TV I can watch there, but I don't like watching TV. And I can't read one there because it's uncomfortable. I can't focus when I'm there. I mean, I've tried reading while there, and I can't fucking do it. I just can't do it. It is horrible. It is so horrible and unpleasant that I just have a hard time, and I cannot do it. I mean, it is absolutely fucking terrible. I can't stand it. And yet, like any adult, I do it because I have to. You know, Again, as an adult, you're gonna have to put up with shit you don't like, because that's just part of life. It really is. At the end of the day, that is just part of life. Putting up with crap you don't like because you have to, you know? And I've noticed that I've got, well, not noticed, but well, I have, but I have a friend that they didn't quite get that point in life. Like, they thought their degree would get them this awesome job when they graduate. It's like, no, you got an overpopulated degree. And by overpopulated, I mean they got a degree that has so many people doing the exact same thing, that there are so many people with that exact degree and minor, that it's overpopulated. And you don't start middle management with a bachelor's. You don't. You get your master's, and then you can go to management in that field. But You're going to work a lot of shitty call center jobs. You're going to do a lot of grunt work, a lot of entry level work when you're first out of college. And they didn't understand that. And they were horrified to find out that you're going to work a lot of bitch work. You're going to do a lot of grunt work. And you're not just going to get a middle management job because you have a bachelor's. It's true. Okay. We are going to take a quick break. I'm going to go to the bathroom. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. All right, all right. We're back. We're back. Give me 1 second. There. Now we're back. Now, just the microphone. There we go. Now, as I was saying, you got to put up with shit as an adult. It just happens. It's part of life. Now, I promised I would tell you about how I'm missing a chunk of my left ear, right? And it's actually a good story. I think it's a good story. I know plenty of people are like, man, it's not that good of a story. I think it's a good story. But when I was 6, 7, no, I was in the second or third grade, I was playing with a friend that lived behind us on the other side of the alley. And we're playing cops and robbers in his backyard. And, found sticks that looked like guns because, it was the early 90s. It's like 91, I think. We're going to smoke this Durama. Daruma. Daruma. Sorry. We're going to smoke it. But, we're playing cops and robbers in his backyard, and we had found some gun sticks that looked like guns, right? When my friend, well, they're not really my friend. They haven't been my friend since this happened. But at the time, my friend, whose name I'm not going to mention, out of respect for their privacy, said, "Hey, in Texas, I found something cool. I'm going to show you." Okay, cool. Let's go in my room. So we go in the house, we go upstairs, we go in his bedroom. He's like, "All right, close your eyes." Close my eyes. And I open them, and he's pointing a fucking gun right at my face. He had found his dad's fucking gun. And I'm like, "Yo, dude, put that back." Like, "Yo, dude, put that away." He's like, "Oh, I found it. It's mine." I'm like, "Dude, no, don't fuck with that. That's not a toy. Go put it away. Go put it away." And while I'm telling him to put it away, he's doing this. And he clenched and it went off. That gun went off. Yeah. It was Saturday. It was off season, so I wasn't playing Little League and was playing baseball. A couple of my other friends were off on vacation, and it went off. And I saw the brightest fucking light I've ever seen. And then my ear felt itchy, cold, itchy, and wet. And I couldn't hear anything really. It was ringing. And then next thing I know, his mom, who was downstairs getting ready to cook dinner, because it's afternoon, comes running upstairs and sees us. And his dad, who was in the garage working on something, comes running in and up the stairs, sees, grabs me, throws me over his shoulder, and runs down the stairs, virtually jumping down the stairs almost. Runs out the garage door to my dad, who's in our garage working on a lawnmower, I think. Lawnmower weeder. He was trying to fix one of them and yells, "Get in the car, get in the car." And so they get in the car. The whole time I'm freaking out because I'm thinking I'm in trouble, right? Like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. And we get to the hospital and they, put like 18, 19, no, I don't remember how many stitches, a bunch of stitches in my ear. The whole time I think I'm in trouble, right? I thought I was in fucking trouble. And the police show up because, kid got shot, ear, that, I'm still thinking I'm in trouble, and I'm talking to the police like, I told him to put it away, I told him to put it up, I told him to put it up, and he did it, and I'm thinking I'm in trouble. And no, like, I wasn't in trouble. I didn't realize I wasn't in trouble. I go home after this, after it's all said and done at the hospital, I go home, and, my mom and dad are like, you are never allowed to play with him again at his house. You are never allowed to play with him unless one of us are in the house. You cannot play with him ever again. I'm like, and no, I'm thinking I'm in trouble. Like, this is bullshit. Literally saying bullshit as a kid. This isn't fair. Why am I in trouble? I didn't do anything. I told him to put it away. And it didn't hit me that I wasn't in trouble. Even like for a month afterwards when, school went back up, I still had stitches because it was towards the end of summer. You know, everyone by then it had made the rounds in the neighborhood. So all the parents had known about it. All the kids knew about it. And I was the most popular kid in my elementary school for that, semester because, oh, he got shot. He got shot. You know, he's so tough. He got shot and didn't die. And it was like, man, I felt all badass. And then it hit me one day. That shot was here, dead on, about that far away from fucking killing me. In that moment, I knew I wasn't the one in trouble. He was, because he could have fucking killed me. And he had just destroyed my parents' friendship with his parents because your kid shot our kid and almost killed him because you didn't lock up your handgun. You left it on the nightstand instead of in the drawer. If like, okay, here's the thing. I keep a gun in my nightstand. Why? Because I don't have kids in my house. But if my roommate has his family over and they bring their kids, or if one of my god kids comes over, or if my nephew comes over, the guns aren't in the drawer anymore. The gun's no longer in the fucking nightstand next to the bed. It's in the gun safe. Because kids go through shit. They're inquisitive. They'll go through your stuff, whether you want them to or not. No matter how much you try to keep them from going through your fucking stuff, they will go through your stuff. They will find it. So lock it behind a heavy door that they can't open. But, you know, keep it safe. But his dad just left it on the nightstand and had never explained to him the dangers of guns. My parents, my mom was anti-gun, but my dad was pretty much, well, he owned guns. He taught me how to shoot, how to hunt. But he also taught me that guns aren't a toy. Guns are not a toy. Loaded, unloaded, it's not a fucking toy. If you find one, leave it the fuck alone. Don't touch it. Go tell an adult, you know. But he also taught me never point that barrel at anyone or anything you're not willing to destroy. And that was an important lesson. Do not put anything you're not willing to destroy at the end of that barrel. And it's true, you know? And that's a good way of thinking about it. A loaded gun is a dangerous gun. An unloaded gun could be dangerous, but never point it at something you're not willing to destroy. You know, kind of a good point there. But his parents didn't do that. They didn't teach him. They didn't remove the mystery, mystique of guns. So he, of course, had no concept in his mind that, maybe I shouldn't be playing with this. Maybe I shouldn't be, pointing this at someone who's my friend, was their friend. You know, seemed like a bad idea. It really was. Your life is it's not lit very well. Really good. What's that? God, I love the Durama. The Dar. I don't know. I'm not even gonna butcher that pronunciation again. Damn good stick. Very good cigar. Highly recommend it if you can find it. Speaking of if you can find it, um, that one guy I was talking about that makes those weird food and drink combos and in his nasty fucking kitchen. Um, I saw a video of his like I said, one of my friends was talking about it, and he went to a humidor in the city or town he lives in, and he's talking about the pipe tobacco room being full of tobacco, and it wasn't. It just looked absolutely barren. And or when he went in the humidor where they have the cigars, talking about this. Oh, they got such an amazing selection. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, they've got almost every acid cigar in there, which no, just no, don't. You don't smoke acid. Acids are for dude bros and idiots that want to think they like cigars but don't know that they don't like cigars. And we've all smoked them. We've all put up with them. Every cigar smoker has at least had one or two acids in their life. But they had like every fucking flavor for acid and had a bunch of other little infused cigars. And then they may have had like 20 boxes of cigars. And it was barren. Like I'm looking at it like that's not a good selection. Like I see some of the big brand, but I don't see a lot of the really good brands. Like I didn't see any Room 101. I saw like one or two boxes of Perdomo, and I like Perdomo. I saw maybe one box of Alex Bradley, and Alex Bradley's real hit or miss with me. I didn't see any Davidoff. No Avro. Like two different types of CAO. I mean, it was just not that great of a selection of sticks, and kind of like, man, no wonder he smokes shitty sticks. He's at this lounge, and it's like okay, here at the shop that I'm doing this podcast at. They have a back lounge for members, they have a private lounge for exclusive members, but then they have seating out on the sales floor, and then of course they have this little conference room that I use on Sundays. there's seating options. And they have a big ass patio too. So, when the weather's real nice like it is right now, I'll sit out there. But I'm not smoking out there and doing my podcast out there because anyone can go out there. And I don't want to violate other people's privacy. So I will come here in this room where I'm not violating other people's privacy. People are able to smoke their sticks in those other places, and I'm not interrupting or intruding, which is good. But he's just sitting there and he's like giving this impromptu tour of this, humidor tobacco, that he's at, and it's like, dude, that's a shit selection. Like, I don't like if I lived in a town where that was my option, then yeah, you know, then maybe I'd put up with it. But I live in a city where I've got, well, counting shops that I know of, 10, 11 cigar shops I can go to, like actual cigar shops, not like gas stations with a humidor or a liquor store that has a small selection of cigars. No, I mean like actual cigar shops that I can go to. I can go and get really good steaks. But but if I lived in that little town that he was in, then probably would think that's good. I've gone to smaller towns where they might have a cigar shop, and their shop is, like I said, like a liquor store with a cigar selection, a gas station with a humidor, a vape and head shop that has a few cigars. Like, not what I consider a cigar shop. You know, like a cigar shop is a cigar shop. Like any of the shops here in town that are actual cigar shops that I go to, they have a humidor. You know, I don't mean like how I have a humidor at home, which is a desktop humidor that holds 150 sticks. No, no. I mean like they have a room dedicated and climate controlled and humidity controlled for cigars. They have their pipe tobacco selection in a separate area because you don't want them flavors mixing. Like if I could, I'd show you the humidor in this place because it's massive. It's bigger than your bedroom. You know, and it's a sizable fucking selection. But the one he showed, their little humidor was like the size of my bathroom. And I don't have like a giant bathroom, but I don't have a tiny bathroom. My bathroom's 10 feet by 7 feet. Sizable bathroom. But their little room is about that size. Maybe not as wide, like maybe 5 feet wide, but they just had like barely anything in there. I don't know if they just had a big run or if, they were having problems with distribution, which was a problem for a while. Like even the shop I'm at now, and they're one of the bigger shops in town, they had a problem with getting certain sticks in because supplies just weren't there, during the whole COVID shutdowns. You know, like they had a hard time getting certain brands or certain mixes for certain brands because of supply chain issues. So I don't know if that was the case with that shop because I don't know how old that video was, but they just had like nothing in there. And it was kind of disappointing, you know? And it's like I live in a city where, like I said, I have 10 or 11 shops that I can go to and get good sticks. Like I can go to those shops while they're open and I can get really, really good sticks for a really good price or for what I'd expect to pay. You know, you don't have to go and buy a $30 cigar because you may not like it. But I smoke generally $5 to $10, $5 to $15 cigars because that's my flavor profile. And 15 is more extravagant. My average is around $8 to $9 a stick because that's what I like. Those are sticks I like, and they just happen to be in that price range. But there's people out there that will swear that, oh, you have to sink this Davidoff. Oh, this $32 Davidoff is the best. Or this $50 limited edition steady fives, or it'll be the best smoke of your life. And it's like, no. Well, I mean, God of Fire, City Fire, God of Fire, those are really good sticks, especially Series B. And I will always go out of my way for Opus X because they don't make a lot of those every year. Every Opus X I've had has been fucking phenomenal. Excuse me. But I've had bad Davidoffs. I've had Davidoffs I thought were disgusting and not worth the $20. You know, I mean, I've had sticks that I thought were great. And, like hell. Case in fucking point. This Ichiban Maduro. Excuse me. This Ichiban Maduro by Room 101. Right? You don't buy them in a single. They don't sell them in a single. You gotta buy them in a bag of 20. In a pack of 20. Bundle of 20 cigars. And the bundle is about, oh, I think I paid $60 for the bundle. So let's do some math here, If I'm paying about 60 bucks, and that's rounding up, and I get 20 sticks in each one, right? Right? So 60 by 20. Hold on, doing math. Math is not my strong point here. It's like three $3 a stick, I think. Oh, let me get my calculator. Here, open calculator. Um, 60 divided by 20. Yeah, $3. So it's about $3 a stick. And yet I will daily smoke each Maduros. Or in this case, it's a Habano because they didn't have any of the Maduro. No, this is a Maduro. Yeah, I'm stupid. Hold on. I'm being dumb. This is no, this is not a Maduro. This is a Habano, which is like a step below the Maduro. But it's $3. It's a $3 stick. And I like it. Hell, I like Punch. Punch puts out really good sticks for not a lot of money. Like I love the Knuckle Busters, and they are less than $5 a stick. I love the Punch Classico. The Classico is a good stick, and it's less than $7. Punch puts out really, really good sticks for a real low price. And yet I didn't see any on the shelves in that video of that one guy whose name I will not mention, which is a shame. But then again, I also saw him butcher a cigar when he lit it because he didn't toast it and he didn't rotate it. And yet, this isn't a guy who's just like starting on cigars. No, I've seen him smoking cigars in his videos back when I used to watch him all the time for the freak show element of it all. But it's just like, dude, no, you don't just light it and puff on it. And I know that I French inhale or I do the retro inhale, the thing I do where I'll show you, where I'll sniff it up my nose and spit it right out. Oh, he's fucking inhaling and exhaling cigars, which not something I want to do. I mean, that's not what you're supposed to do with cigars. That'll get you sick. That'll make you miserably sick. And yet he does that. Like even when I was still smoking cigarettes and I would have a cigar, I wouldn't inhale the cigar because no, no, you don't do that. That's a dumb idea. Like people get sick for that shit because it's just not what you're supposed to do, man. You're gonna get green behind the gills. You're gonna puke. Maybe some people puke, a lot of people puke, I guess. But yeah, it's like no, no, don't do that. That would be bad. And yet he sits there and he inhales it, and it's like, God damn, they're already fucking killing you lungs. Shit says no. I mean, it's just oh man. Hell, I knew a guy that he would buy a cigar and he cut it into little pieces and put it in his pipe. And I mean, that's one way of doing it. Pipe tobacco is infinitely cheaper than most cigars. I mean, the shop I'm at can get, an ounce of pipe tobacco. And I don't mean like cut rate. I mean like premium pipe tobacco for less than $3 an ounce. Hell, you can buy a tin of premium Davidoff pipe tobacco for less than $7. And that's infinitely cheaper than a single Davidoff cigar. Is it good? Yeah, it is good. Trust me, it is very good. But buying a cigar, cutting it up into little bits to put in your fucking pipe just seems a bit wasteful. But to each their own, I guess. Speaking of people that I know, I recently ran into someone that I did a story time on. My buddy Highlander. I haven't seen this man in almost a decade, right? I have not seen Highlander in almost a decade. But I ran into him. And we exchanged phone numbers. We've been texting back and forth. And if he's off work next Sunday, he's agreed to be on the podcast. He's agreed to come in and talk with y'all. You know, he's agreed to come in and talk about some of our old stories from back when we were still playing tabletop together. Like about, you know, Herbert the Pervert who liked strawberry sherbet. If you haven't seen that, you need to watch that. It's one of my older story times way back when, but it is a good or Lester the no, he wasn't there for Lester the Molester, but he was there for Herbert the Pervert, who liked strawberry sherbet. He was there for Burger Bob, another good one. He was there for quite a few of these people, you know. But he might be on the podcast next week if he's off from work. He hasn't gotten a schedule yet. He'll know Thursday. And so hopefully Highlander, mystery will be resolved who he is. Because I know some people way, way back in the day when I would do these story times about gaming groups I was with, he was someone that people were grossly honest. But, you know, because he was a mysterious character who had been in several of these stories. Although nothing will ever beat the worst gaming group I'd ever sat with. The worst gaming group I ever sat with. That is a video that I will actually put the card for this one when I put this on YouTube because that is a story that lives in infamy, and that's from way, way, way. That's from before I started YouTube. Back when I had a different nickname, unfortunate, when you could, be a trip code, use your trip code and have a reserved name. And I used to go by that name. Fuck this shit, I'm getting tacos. And the reason I only went by fuck this shit, I'm getting tacos, is because one night I had a weird dream. I fell off a cliff, like Wile E. Coyote style, watched myself plummet, slam into the ground, left an imprint of my body in the ground, stood up, looked around, said, man, fuck this shit. Get tacos, and walked off. And then I woke up. But I used to use that nickname on 4chan all the time for fuck this shit, I'm getting tacos. And I told my story to my friend, who his name will remain anonymous, but his nickname was Burrito Boy. And I told him the story. And he put it on 4chan and it just went wild. And I mean, It was one of those things. I mean, and that's the worst gaming group I've ever sat with. In all 30 plus years I've been playing tabletop or pen and paper RPGs, the worst group I ever fucking sat with, and it was that one. That was a terrible fucking group. And I'll link it in the video card at the end of this for when I upload this to YouTube. I can't do it now because I'm streaming it on Twitch, but it'll be there. Trust and believe it'll be there. Oh man, but no, it was cool running into Highlander. Hadn't seen him in forever. I mean, we were we were best friends in high school. Then we fell out of contact. We lost touch. And then I met him. I ran into him at a gaming store that's no longer around. I think they have like one location, but they don't have any other locations. And I ran into him. We started talking and hanging out, and then we started going to various gaming groups because we couldn't find a regular group. And so stuff happened. And yeah, no, but it's been 10 plus years since I've talked to him, and I can't wait to see if I can get him on the podcast next week to talk about tabletop with y'all because I've played a lot of different tabletop games. I've played, yeah, D&D. I've I don't really care for 4.0. I like 3.5, but I also play Pathfinder. I prefer Pathfinder. Not sure why, but I've played WoD, World of Darkness, old World of Darkness. I haven't played any new ones. I played a couple games of Scion for WoD, and I didn't like it. But I mean, I've played Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Hunter the Reckoning. I mean, I've played Demon the Fallen, Mage the Ascension. I mean, Awakening. I've played so many games put out by World of Darkness. That's insane. I've played Rifts. I've played Eternity, D20, D20 Modern, Homebrew System, Small Eyes, Large Mouth, or Large Eyes, Small Mouth. I've played Fallout ones. I've played so many, and I love them. I haven't played in years. Maybe I should get back into that. Find a Sunday group after stream that I can do that with, or maybe like a weekday thing, like on a Monday. Although one of my favorite things was I was playing in a Fallout game, pen and paper RPG that one of my friends was running, and the whole time, you know, I'm playing this character that's a lie. The whole thing, his backstory, everything was a lie, and only the DM knew it. All the other characters had no idea that he was part of this other group, you know. And at the end, our characters would go into this low valley to, supposedly destroy this enclave computer, this big ass enclave computer system. And, they find out that they have to have someone manually push the button. And so my character bravely says, "Hey, I'll do it. I'll stay behind. I'll push the button, but I'm only gonna do it once y'all are out of the valley. Once you're out of the Bowl Valley crater, because I don't want y'all to die. I'll sacrifice myself for the group." And the group's like, "No, no." I'm like, "Dude, someone has to stay behind. Someone has to do it." Never mind that I was actually working for the Enclave, and my job was to get this station, this Enclave server system, the computer system, up and running, not destroy it. And so I waited until they were far enough away from the bunker to where I could lock the door and they wouldn't be able to get in, but they were too far from the edge to get out. I activated it, and it released poison gas and killed the entire party. And It was so brilliant. They're all so pissed off. They were all pissed, but it's like, dude, there were clues. I gave y'all clues. And they started going back and they're thinking about it. They're like, okay, we're pissed that you did that, but they could appreciate that that was actually a really, really good character because none of them had any suspicion. Well, one of them had suspicion, but when I, almost died to save things, removed any suspicion in their mind that I wasn't part of the Enclave, you know, because I risked my life fighting the Enclave to save them, to bring them back from the edge of death, and make sure that they made it safely back to the group's base. And I even sacrificed all of my stim packs to heal them and keep them alive, along with all my Rad-X and Rattle. Only to betray them all at the end. And I accomplished my goal, and they were pissed about it, but they were understanding because they're like, yeah, that was actually a really good character. And the concept was great and they loved it. And they thought it was amazing because it worked so well, you know? Or hell, I've played a lot of Shadowrun. I love Shadowrun. Shadowrun was one of my favorite fucking pen and paper RPGs for the longest fucking time. Hell, Shadowrun is why I probably have 100 D10 in a box somewhere because I fucking god, you use a lot of D10s. I mean, hell, I played a BattleTech game that took 6 months to complete one battle. I'm not even kidding. We gamed once a week for 3 hours, and it took 6 months to complete this BattleTech game. And it was fun, monotonous, but it was fun. And our mechs barely made it out. Like I was playing a Dashi, a, a direwolf, and I was playing missile boat essentially. They'd run out, they'd engage some of the other targets, but they would pinpoint targets, and I would shoot LRMs and MRMs at those targets and just decimate them. I didn't even have really any up close and personal weapons. I had a couple of chain guns, but that was it. Like literally two or three of them. Like my whole thing was, I'm gonna sit way back here behind all these tall buildings on the down end of a hill and just fucking arc that shit in. And it was fun. It took 6 months because once a week, or no, we played, yeah, the group played once a week, but we played Battletech once a month. So what should have taken 6 games took 6 months because we were also running a Pathfinder game, a fucking Shadowrun, another one. I can't remember if it was Weird West or Wild West, one of those two. And we were running one of those. So we had a bunch of games we were playing. We had different DMs. And, we weren't playing just one game, playing a bunch. And it worked out well. But again, lost contact with some of them. One of the guys in the group, he moved to North Dakota. Another one, he moved for work down to Corpus. Uh, one of the other guys I just haven't talked to in forever. I just haven't seen him. The other one I just kind of lost contact with. Another one, she just kind of disappeared. Like she just kind of took off. Never said anything else. Like she disappeared from the face of the earth. So that group fell apart. Then I played with another group with one of my friends. It wasn't two of my friends that were in that group, or three of them. Well, two of them, because one of them never went to the other one. So three people with regularity in that group. And then I kind of lost contact with them when I moved in 2016 to a house. And it just kind of disappeared for a while. And then I just haven't found a gaming group to play with. I haven't really even been looking for one. It's kind of funny how life gets like that. It gets so busy, you just kind of change as you go. You know, my weekends, my Fridays and Saturdays became work days. A few of the gaming groups that I've talked to, they game on Saturdays and Fridays. I'm not available Fridays or Sundays. I'm just not. I'm not giving up that easy money. Well, yeah, it's easy money. Uber is easy fucking money, but I'm not going to give it up. I enjoy it. Plus, I like driving for Uber. I like getting to meet people and talk with them. It's fun. I enjoy it. And Sundays I do this 4 to 6. So in all reality, from 3 I drive to here. That's a 30-minute drive from where I live. And I do this, and then around 6 o'clock, around 5:50, 5:55, I end it, tear down, I go to my friend's house, play with puppy. And then Mondays I run errands for my mom at her, because she can't get out of the nursing home I pay for. Not because she's held prisoner, but she just doesn't want to leave. Like, I could pick her up to do laundry on Saturdays occasionally, but normally it's a Monday thing. I pick her up, take her to lunch, do her laundry, then go to the store for her while she sits at my house and watches TV. Then, take her laundry, and her snack food and sodas back to her nursing home, hang out there for an hour, then I go home. You know, just maybe I'll find a gaming group that meets on like a Thursday. Like I have really nothing going on Thursdays. I have treatment, and then that's pretty much it. Like my day job, I can do at night, which is what I typically do. I get my 40 hours at night. So, and plus I'm self-employed, you know. My primary day job, self-employed, and I do that, during the day. Well, at night, because I can just get it done at night. I don't have any real distractions. And I don't really sleep that much anyways. I sleep maybe 4 or 5 hours a day. Mostly when I'm at dialysis. Except on treatment days, I'll come home, take an hour nap, maybe 2 hours, depending how trashed I feel. So maybe I'll find a gaming group that meets on like Thursday evenings. Eh, or maybe I'll not. I don't know. I don't know. Just kind of, I think I outgrew it. I mean, I still have all my books for Pathfinder and for Warhammer and World of Darkness. I have all my vampire books. Still have my Demon Fallen books. I still have my mage books and my werewolf books. I mean, I'm sure I could find a gaming group if I put effort into it and I really looked. I mean, hell, I can go to a gaming store and they have a billboard, they have a post board where they have groups looking for people. I mean, hell, I got rid of all my Magic the Gathering cards. I sold all of those. My betas, second, third, fourth edition, fifth edition, Ice Age, Empire or Fallen Empire, Lost Realm, Urza's Keep and all that. I mean, I sold all those. I made some good money off of those, especially off my betas, including my Black Lotus. I had 2 of those and I sold them. Made some real good money off those. I mean, I still also have all my little brother's Pokemon cards. But those I'm not selling. I'm not selling my little brother's Pokemon cards. He had almost an entire collection for like first, second, and third edition Pokemon cards because they came out when he was in elementary school and he played all the way through middle school and high school. Still have all those cards. He has easily 5,000 plus Pokemon cards, and a bunch of them are still in decks that he built. but I'm gonna hold on to those till his son, Killian, my nephew, is older and responsible enough to go and handle those cards. Because I feel like that's what my little brother Sam would have wanted. You know, I mean, hell, he's even got some unopened booster packs from first and second edition that he got in elementary school that he never opened. Just kind of forgot about him. He's even got a whole box of cards he never opened that he got in middle school. He won in middle school and just kind of forgot about him. Never opened it. Hell, they're still in his cellophane. So I know he's probably got some valuable cards in that collection, but I feel like they should go to his kid. And then it would be wrong if I, sold them. Now if his son wants to sell them, that's fine. I'll help him do it. But I think that my little brother would have wanted his son to have those cards. You know, I think I think that's the right move. I think that's the good move. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to wait till he's like 10 or 11 when he's old enough and responsible enough to, take these cards and enjoy them or sell them or keep them. Who knows? I mean, shit. I still even have my little brother's Pokemon board game. Like, I still have all the little pieces and all that. It's all in the box. And I'll give that to his son too when I give him the cards when he's older. Because I think that's what my little brother would have wanted. You know? Like, I think that's what Sam would have wanted, is for his son to have those. You know? And that's kind of important, family things are family things. But yeah, yeah, that's kind of the thing, I guess. Everyone's family has those things that they pass down from one to the other, you know? Like with my dad, it was some of his baseball cards, which I still have, some of his comics, which I have. It's things that meant something to him as a child, you know? Even my uncle, my mom's brother, who I don't like, I didn't like the last 5 years of his life because he went down a path that was not a good path, and he became a thief and a liar and druggie and junkie and would steal from his own family. And so I loved my, but I didn't like him, I pray for him, but I wouldn't let him in my house. And even then, before all that happened, he left me some stuff that I still have, you know, that I want to give to my nephew, or if I ever have a kid, which odds of that happening are really, really, really low, that I want to give to them, you know, family things. And I'm sure your family has heirlooms that y'all pass down from one to the other. That's fun. That's awesome. And that's kind of a good thing to have in life. Pass things down from one to the other. But yeah, yeah, that's basically it. Uh, Although one of my other friends found out that I had all my little brother Sam's Pokemon cards. They're like, dude, you could sell these and make a ton of money. I'm like, I could, or I can give them to my nephew because they were his dad's cards, and I'm just holding them. I'm acting as a mediator, as someone as a fiduciary responsibility. That guts and a fiduciary responsibility means legal obligation to act as a payee, a payer to the payee. You're a middleman. Like insurance agencies have a fiduciary responsibility to pay their clients. Their clients if they have a claim that's valid and approved. The agent is the one that takes on the fiduciary responsibility, though. And it used to be that they would pay cash, would carry a bunch of cash or checks to hand out. Now Not so much. Now, most insurance agencies will just mail the check directly. Now, some still have their agent hand deliver the check, but that's neither here nor there. But that's what I mean when I say I have a fiduciary responsibility to my nephew to give him that, Pokemon collection and the Pokemon board game. After I give it to him, he can do whatever he wants. He can burn them for all I care. I prefer he didn't. I prefer that he hold on to them, but not get rid of them right away. You know, those cards meant a lot to my little brother, and I'm hoping they'll mean a lot to my nephew when he gets them. You know, I mean, that's just kind of the thing. All right, we got like 4 minutes left before I got. Actually, no, 5:50. We got to tear down now. So, all right, we're gonna end it here. It's been fun, We smoked a couple good sticks, talked, we hung out, but I'm gonna end it. As always, thank you for watching. I really mean that. And again, unlike DSP, I will never beg for subs. I will never beg for donations. I will never beg for bits, posts, or money. I won't even bug you to buy my merch. All I ask is that if you liked it, drop a follow. Following is free. Following will cost you nothing, and that's all I want. Other than that, just be good to each other. All right, I'm out of here. Y'all be good, and I'll see you on the next Sunday. Bye.